morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Our Regional Director, Dr. Vilas Rao Kadam Sir, Director, Dr. Anjali Kaise Ma'am, Chief Guest for the day, Mr. Amit Titnis Sir, respected faculty members from Bharatiya Vidyapeeth family and my fellow mates. I welcome you all for AICTE-sponsored Hybrid International Conference on Circular Economy, Management and Industry 4.0 Leading Towards Sustainability, organized by Bharatiya Vidyapeeth Institute of Management Studies and Research, Navi Mumbai, in collaboration with APJ School of Management, Dwarka, New Delhi. Light is a symbol of brightness and prosperity. As sunlight expels the darkness of mind, similarly, blessings brings in our life prosperity and happiness. To make this event a blessed one, let's invoke Lord Ganesha by kindling the lamp of knowledge and wisdom. For seeking the choicest blessings for the same, I invite respected Dr. Anjali Kaise Ma'am, our chief guest Mr. Amit Titnis Sir, our co-convener, Dr. Purvi Pujari Ma'am, and co-convener Professor Priyeta Priyadarshini Ma'am to do the honor. I would like to request our Honorable Secretary Ms. Tanvi Joshi to come up on stage for Ganesh Vandana.
Cross.
Gana Ganesha pyare, Ganesha pyare, tumhari Lambodara ekadanta, Lambodara ekadanta, Kave sura.
Thank you, Tanvi, for having such a pleasing start. It's my privilege to invite Dr. Anjali Kaise Ma'am to come up on dais and kindly share a few words.
Very good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Warm welcome for this fantastic conference on circular economy. It's time for a joy where our numbers are going down, because we have seen this 2 years in pandemic wherein we are not used to such kind of conferences, but this time we decided that we will do it in a very hybrid way, wherein few of the participants will be there, and maybe this is the good beginning, and this is a sign that we are going toward the normal way how we used to conduct our conferences program. And I am very, very happy to see the students over here, because we are missing them very badly. So we thought that every year we do national and international conference in an alternate way. So this time it is the international conference, and I am very happy to share that this is our 4th international conference, and that too sponsored by AICTE. That is for the first time. So all credit goes to my faculty team who works day and night. All faculty members are very dedicated, and they work for it, and finally we got the grant. When we decided for this conference, we were churning about the topic, what should be the relevant topic, and how we should go, because when the pandemic started, everything was for a moment we felt that we are standstill, in a standstill situation. Then we thought that why not the topic wherein we can when we talk about business, every aspect of life is affected by this pandemic. So why not such kind of topic can be taken, wherein right from the industrial revolution first and leading to 4.0 stage, and the economies and everything should be churned, and something fruitful will come, wherein that will give a greater push, and motivation and encouragement for everyone to go ahead and surge, towards the normal, the way of business we are doing. And then we thought that yes, this is the topic wherein we have come up with this. Go to the first slide, wherein we thought that the circular economy and Industry 4.0 leading towards sustainability. And after much churning, we decided that yes, this is an apt topic and quite relevant, and we have gone with this topic suggested to the AICTE, and they accepted it. And in one feather in the cap is there is a collaboration with APJ Management School, Delhi, because collaboration is very, very important, where more academicians come, more stalwarts comes, and they share their thoughts, and that is value adding thing, and that is very, very much welcome gesture by AICTE also. So when we talk about the 4.0, wherein I thought that it is very essential to go back to industrial revolution, right from the first industrial revolution, wherein when there was no part of technology in that, wherein most of the things were doing manually, and little bit some sort of techniques are being used, and that's how the business and all the processes used to run. That is the period between 1760 and 1820. Then slowly, because we have to come to this transition 4.0 slowly, it is not a mutation, no, slowly it will go. So I thought it is quite relevant when the students are there, wherein they can also correlate like how we are in this automation stage, where everything is, we cannot think of the office without computers. So how this stage has come. It is the first industrial revolution, wherein, and then in business also we have seen that so much automation is there, everything, all the risky jobs are done by the computers. So this transition has come a long way. So it is the first industrial revolution, the second, and then that is 1760, way back in 1820. Then the second industrial revolution, that is we call it as a technological revolution, wherein is the period between 1871 and 1914. Now when we say this period, most of us at my age can start correlating with the things. And in that period we've seen that most of the infrastructure was built, there were connectivity, there were electricity, and if you look at the first industrial revolution and the second industrial revolution, this is the period where most of the economic growth has happened, and then that has come up with in a very faster way. So that is the we can say that great economic growth period. So this is the second industrial revolution. Now if we move to the third industrial revolution, that is known as digital revolution, and it is the most important. You must have seen so much miracle with respect to this industrial third industrial revolution, wherein it is in the late 20th century. We all witnessed this, and we have witnessed a very significant development in terms of communication technology, in terms of all the technological advances, supercomputers, and we have seen that now there is from here, it is the extensive use of computers started. We cannot think of office. Just imagine when for 10 minutes we don't have net, we don't know what to do. So this was the phase wherein we have started with the extensive use of the computers, and that technology advancement is reflected in the manufacturing sector also, where most of the updated technologies are used to go for the production and to increase the production level. So most of the sophisticated technology is used in this you can say the third industrial revolution. And maybe that was also the phase wherein we started. I still remember that time wherein way back. I can remember my time 1998 where I did my doctorate, wherein there was slightly the phase where the introduction of computers were begin. and then there was a lot of resistance from even the banks, and now just see that without computer we can't work. So this is how the transition, and now we are in the phase of automation, where the everything is automated, and I think Tipnis sir will able to give more view and can throw more light on it, wherein how the production is happening, how the industry is behaving with respect to the automation and how far it is going. So that is the fourth industrial revolution phase, wherein it is marked by automation. And when we are talking about this transition and the phase, from one phase we are moving to the second phase, we have to think that how this when we have come up with 4.0, that is the present phase, that what are the principles wherein how this particular stage has come and what is the requirement, wherein we can see that interconnections, that is it is very normal now to see the ability of machine devices, how these connected with the people, sensor, it is very normal for us, but this has come to the transition and the extensive use of internet where people get connected. Then the other principle, because we have to see it at large, wherein the information transparency, the transparency you see in 4.0, that is technology provided to the manufacturing sector, every sector, wherein all the information, data, everything, there is much more transparency. People can make the decision based on whatever the information they are receiving. So it is a very comprehensive system and sophisticated system. So that is the another thing. Then interconnectivity allows the whoever is the operator to collect immense data is collected, and from the all points of the manufacturing process, identifying key areas, and that definitely improves the functionality. So all these it is based on all these principles, wherein we can see the result, which is remarkable. Then the other things are the technical assistance, where and the decentralized decision. All this is possible, wherein earlier the decision making, because we take decision based on data, and there are so much sophisticated system wherein much more data is available on platter, and that's how the decision making, problem solving, it was earlier the unsafe and difficult task, but now with the use of technology we are moving towards more corrective phase, and in fact I will not say moving to, we are in that particular phase. And even some decisions wherein machines themselves, they take the decisions, and that's how the output comes in the industry. So that these are the certain things where we have to look into. But all said and done, we are saying that we are in automation stage, we are doing so much, we are using sophisticated, but that is, we should not be complacent enough with respect to India, because if we look at the tally globally, we are far behind. There are much more sophistication and the updation outside India globally. There are much, and we are lagging behind in the tally. So the time, this is a time wherein we have to introspect, we have to think that where we are lagging behind, and where we stand, where the India stands in the competition. And this there are young guns now, our budding managers, technicians, they have to take that thing in their hand, and they should start thinking that what are those things, what are the challenges where we would like to take our country ahead. So what we should do, what we should not do, what are the do's and don'ts. So that has to be think, because once we realize the things, we are aware and we are realized, then we will move towards the implementation of the things. And when the implementation happens, definitely there will be a result. And possibly it is somewhere I read that globally, and I have mentioned it also, wherein by 2025 globally, this whole thing, the 4.0 will be leading towards 3.7 trillion, like that. So when we are we have to contribute towards it, that's the goal. But then, and we have this present government also has started many initiatives regarding that. So if we look at the Prime Minister Narendra Modi's initiatives, wherein Make in India, and there are a lot of exemptions are given to make it happen. We have seen that there are many policies, many decisions regarding the same, which facilitate the entire thing. So all the policies are based on that. So but if we don't, it isn't on the paper, but unless we implement it, there is no use. So it is who is going to implement it is we have to take initiative. Some leaders has to be there, and then that has, with the support of the all, then only whatever the policies set by the government, we can take it ahead. So this if we look at the China and India, although we talk much about quality of the things and all, but all said and done, every aspect we will see the Chinese thing. So if we have to beat China, we have to implement certain things. Now, based on the various experience of the industries, industrialists, what they share, and what are the things churned at such kind of forums, it is, there are some key challenges they have come up with, which I think the industry people can look into and can throw more light on it, wherein, high cost is one of them, lack of resource, lack of data analytical skills, right? And very important is our jugaad attitude. We see mostly Indians, it's everywhere we go with this jugaad kind of a thing, right? But then we have to, once or a while it is okay, this kind of jugaad. But this jugaad is so integrated part of our life that we cannot think beyond it. So that also is, and that it will reflect from the floor to the managerial level, everywhere. So shop floor to the managerial level. So that also we have to think. Then the lack of courage among the investors. So that is also one of the point. Then the lack of trust, and the most important, I think, Indian mindset is that fear of failure. Everything, it starts with agar nahi hoga to. So that our all initiative starts if we fail, that is. So there is some there should be some optimistic approach in that, and also when we think of we have to have proper planning and the adjustment. We have to think thoroughly, and then only I think that confidence will generate that yes, whatever we have started, we are going to win, we will be successful. Then the other important things are lack of interest in innovation. Indians are globally you will find that all software professionals are Indian, because we are trained to think logically right from our, now the education policies change, but we are trained to think logically. If even you go to the any corner of the world, I bet whoever is the software engineer will be Indian only. So most of 90% you will find Indian, because up till now in 70 years our education system is like we are trained to think logically. It's not bad, but somewhere we have lost on creativity, right? So that creativity, Japanese are more creative. You will see that many cell phones, all the advancement, it comes from the Japanese, because they are creative, right? So there should be a balance mixed of both, and then only I think we will surge in this 4.0, and what we are dreaming of, whatever Prime Minister Narendra Modi is saying that Make in India campaign and all those things, and we will be the superpower and we will go with that. But all these are the things which is required to reach that particular stage, and there the fact is that we are lagging behind. So that is the one more thing. Then the less support from the shop floor employee, where HR can play a major role, wherein the full attitude have to be rebrushed, and that transformation of attitude is required. Then the sometimes the I will not say every time, but the unclear budget value, and in Indian context, sir will throw more light on it, that much hide and seek happens in the organizations, where the major thing is that credit pull and all that, and those things are very much prevalent in the Indian context, because if I thought over it that why it is in India, because we are all intellectual peoples. We think, we brainstorm, and this is my personal view that we are so ambitious. There is a reason. We are the second highest populated country in the world. A lot of talent is available, lot of people are available, and that is the reason that yes, and our culture is set like that, our society is set like that, that everybody is ambitious, everybody want to climb up the ladder, nobody want to be at a grassroots level. So there are many aspects, many factors are involved in it. So that is, we have to see those things also. So that kind of, mix which is required, that is also a big requirement in terms of a mindset. Then there's, then there will be a, that kind of a credit pull. In fact, in our HR, we have one chapter, organizational politics. So whenever human beings are there is going to be a politics, there is going to be a credit pull and all those things. So, but it is more in the industry. A lot of stakes are involved and big money is involved. Yes, that is there. But as compared to the other countries, yes, we have to see. So the lack of leadership support and attention, that is many a times, leaders are very passive. They say one thing and then they act in another way. So you get the signal, oh, this is not right. So that kind of a active role is required, not a passive kind of a leadership. Then the too many stakeholders, and that is also one of the very important aspect. And the last and very important is in India's political situation and policies. We have seen the fiasco with respect to the Maharashtra, the whatever the projected plans and whatever is been signed, then they are disapproving it. Whatever they have done, they are disapproving it, because all they are the policy makers and all that. So this is the system where political situation and policies, because policies change when the political situation change, and that has impact on the business. So this is a very important aspect that we have to think when we think about 4.0 and when we think about going top to the tally, and we were in the developing countries, even if we think so, if we want to surge ahead, these are the very important points. So now this is in addition to that, this is all already existed, the pandemic. Now these are the realities we have faced in these 2 years, wherein how to initially, but I congratulate all academicians, sir. They managed this phase, sir. Let me tell you, not only industry, but this is the sector where we have managed it wonderfully. I am very proud of it that in fact our 45 plus people were the faculties. They used to go with the chalk and pen on the LCDs, but over a period, suddenly they shifted their gear, and immediately they made Teams, and it is online, and it is a very common thing for us now. Whatever the things are online, and we took effort to do it. Now this is when we thought of the hybrid kind of a thing, we thought now we have to go toward normalcy. So let us start this conference not only in the online mode, but in a hybrid mode. And this is the first initiative. I must congratulate my conveners, Dr. Purvi Pujari and Priyata. They have taken a lot of effort to happen this. So congratulations to them that they made it happen, this kind of a hybrid conference, because it requires courage also to go to start. Now once the trend starts, everything will go in that particular way, but to start, to initiate, that I think is you need a courage, and they did it. So I am very happy that they did it. So that is because there are many challenges, how to manage employee remotely, because we have also faced that, if you see online, this thing sir was telling me when we were discussing that people are not really agile and attentive when it goes to the online webinars and all that. They just logged in. Even our student, they just logged in and they go away. When you ask questions, nobody reply doesn't come. So those kind of things are there, of course. So for our industry also, for our managers also, it is for everywhere, each sector you can say it is a challenge, and we have faced it. because how to manage them, and it becomes very difficult whether the person is actually to look into the actually working or not working, and so respond because it's a automation phase. So it is there is a challenge of reskilling people, and whatever the tough challenges are there. I think we are coping up with those challenges, and we are going ahead. But still, these are the areas where it is very difficult. And we can say that yes, I am very optimistic in nature. So I will not say I am not a person who thinks negative. I am always positive. In the crisis also, I can think positive. So with all these challenges, I think we can surge ahead with the 4.0. And these changes in the industry, we have seen that take different shapes, and we have witnessed during the recession and the past years, and the automation level and the adoption. We have seen that there is a rise, sometimes there is fall also. But I think if we can take all these challenges, we can go ahead and we can attain that particular level where we are dreaming of. So I think, sir, you are from core industry with around 25 to 30 year major experience you are having. So you will throw more light on it, and we love to listen those things. And I think there are 200 registrations are there, and there are many stalwarts who would like to contribute, and who would like to, so there will be much churning on this topic. It is just a beginning. I have just taken one segment of it. When we talk about the circular economy, when we talk about the sustainability, when we talk about 4.0, the automation and all those things. So I think when the business are very keen to capture efficiency, stabilize the, and the cost base and the respond to the new economic reality, we expect something similar now, where automation level will rise, and we are seeing the things like Industry 4.0. So with this, I think I have presented my view. Sir can share what he feels about what I felt about overall the things, and can throw more light on it. And I think this is a wonderful beginning where we are moving toward normalcy. And I think in coming days, I would say that I would love to see the whole auditorium filled with students, the and many seminars which we did in the online mode, where more than 90 seminars we have done, 9 FDPs and all that, but I would love to do it face to face. So with this, I think I wish this conference a big success. Wish you all the best, and thank you very much. Thanks for patiently listening my views on it. So, and at this juncture, I am announcing that conference, international conference on circular economy 2021 is open for the churning. So there will be much takeaways from this. Thank you very much. Thank you.